You know what I mean?
Focus. Live. Keep growing.
What's happening, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And this is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
We are excited to be brewing solutions this morning with you. Happy Tuesday,
Woo!
all of you solutionaries. Cheers to you. 2 cups on a Tuesday with a couple of dudes. And we got a serious special guest that's joining us
We
today.
do. We have our sister in the house today, and we're super excited to announce her, to share her story. We've had her on the show before, but never as a featured guest. And man, we're in the middle of women in automotive. And I tell you,
That's right.
if we don't include our super guest that we're getting ready to announce, we're missing out, because she is an amazing woman in automotive. She's doing some amazing things right now. Her business, her company that she's a COO of is exploding right now. They're all over the place. They have a tool for every dealership out there that needs any help. All you got to do is reach out to them. Folks, we're super excited. As you can see, the logo's up on the corner right above Lou's head right there. Dealership Toolkit CEO.
The one,
The
only Miss
Liz
Martin.
Hey. What's going on, my friend? Woo.
Good morning. I always love having coffee with you guys.
That's
Love it.
right. That's right.
You know, we've been so fortunate. Not only have we been friends virtually, like like most of the world these days, but we've actually got to meet you. And I'm gonna tell you, I want to thank you really quick for having us down as the moderator MC for y'all's events down at Digital Dealer. That was a great time for us. We really had a blast. That booth was bumping. I think everybody in the whole convention knew what was going on in that booth.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that you allowed us to come and be part of that show, because I think that show was so much fun. It really helped us, and it really built us a lot of confidence in what we're doing. So thank you very much for that, Liz.
We have a lot more of that coming up, right?
Oh, yeah, we do.
There's a lot brewing, car guys and car gals.
But like Lou would say, but wait, there's more.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we're excited, you know. And then we got to meet your team, and we got to go to
that, yeah.
That's probably the highlight
Next
of the week
level.
for us. We had a great time in there. We killed it at Digital Dealer, at the convention, the whole nine. But coming in to meet your team and to go in there and to put on the show that we put in there and have a good time with our voices almost gone, totally exhausted, but totally just loving that crew, totally having fun in that office. And you all let us just have free reign and let us go in there and just do our thing. And we appreciate that. That honored us so much. And hopefully we got a chance to honor you when we did that too. So we love you. We love you. We love Rich. We love everyone there. I mean, you guys are really doing some amazing things. We're so honored to be part of that team.
Yeah, we love you back a lot. It's interesting because sometimes a BDC or marketing team or a technology team doesn't understand the impact that they have on a dealership.
Mhm.
And they get that they set appointments and all that good stuff, but you added the human element for them, and you made them feel like they make a difference in the lives of people and that they do good. And that was a huge takeaway for them. They're actually still talking about it. So we want more of that too. We want more of the car guys in Tampa. Yes,
you know,
we do.
Some of that,
you all
yeah.
are going to get a lot more of that, of course. You know, I know that we got a lot of projects coming up together, but we definitely want to get more involved. Later, Nick. Sorry, my son's walking out. He's getting ready to go to orthodontist.
Bye, Nick.
But bye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
Love you. But you know, we definitely want to do that. We're looking forward to getting more meetings together with them, not just virtually, but live too, because we want to come down. I just got back from Tampa. I had a blast with my son. We ran out of time. You said, just like you said when you text me, time flies while you're down here. It does. And we had a great time. But I definitely want to make a trip business wise, but also personal, because I want to come hang out with y'all and go out and have dinners and all that type of stuff too. So we're looking forward to those types of trips, doing more of those. But we're so excited to have you in the show today to get this 5-liner going, because this 5-liner are 5 questions that we need to ask you and see where you're going, where you came from, and tell your story, because you have a great story. You've done a lot of things in this automotive industry, and you still have a lot more to give. This is just the beginning for you and Rich right now. I know it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how far you go and how many more projects that you come in, conquer, and just show the world what you can do. And I'm excited to be part of that also.
Absolutely.
Yep. And hear that. You guys can hear that inside of her voice, her commitment to her team, that she does value when somebody comes in, injects that confidence, that hope, but also gives that other side of it. It's just like talking to our kids, right? We can say it a million times and let somebody else that's maybe just we see as a little bit cooler, right? Because nobody's as cool as mom and dad. It's never the case. But somebody comes in, says some of the same stuff that we've been saying all the time, and then it's like, wow, that really moved me. Like, I tell you that 100 times that I appreciate you. I tell you that I love you 1,000,000 times.
How true is that, though?
But coming in, giving that confidence, and also giving the different perspective, because it's one thing when you're a team that says, okay, this is what we do as a company, this is collectively what happens. It's another when somebody comes in with that validation to say, hey, guess what happens when you do what you do. That's why if you give to missions or you give to a cause that you care about, right, you get a voice that has received from the good works that you do to show up to the people that have a moment or have a dollar to give, and being able to encourage your team, seeing them light up. Really, it was a great news meeting, folks. We got to have a real live Cypher great news meeting right there inside of their entire just call center. It was awesome, and everybody brought something good. It was original. It upshifted me.
It was a great time. You know,
this is the leader of the pack.
They have a beautiful team, a huge team of so many different people. It's like so many different cultures and so many different, you have women, men, you have it all. You have Hispanic, Asian, there was black, white, it was all of it. And it was a melting pot of just a beautiful people that just want to do some things. And having that type of culture inside of any business is perfect. Adversity and diversity, I should say. Diversity is the key to growth. When everyone in a room looks the same, there's probably something wrong with that room. They're probably almost like a cult. That's what I say, right? So you want it to be diverse. You want to go walk in a room and see a bunch of different people with different ideas and different thoughts, because if you're thinking the same thing all the time, you probably need a little bit of variation to it. So when you add different people, different places that come in here and they can start coming up with different ideas, it makes it better. It makes it grow. You start to say, oh, well, that was a great idea. I would have never thought of that. So that is what diversity does. That is what your business is. And I absolutely love it. And it was beautiful to walk in that call center to see the different, everyone was different. It wasn't like same in a row. It was just so amazing. And even hearing them talk on the phones and the way they reacted, even their great news, it was all different. They all had different reasons to be happy for why they were there and what they were doing in life. And it was an honor. It really was an honor to be there. It
was an honor, and it was useful to both sides. It encouraged us to be able to have the opportunity to be in there and encourage you. You let us absolutely run amok. For those of you that don't know, you'll see. You guys will get to see more of me grabbing Freddie and just running him around there like crazy guys. People sitting on the phone and are like, yes, Mr. Customer, there. What? Just watching us roll by. It was a good time. But we had the chance to high five, hug, and love on some people. Speaking of high five and some of the people inside of the car room, take a look at this. This is what we were doing up in there. Oh, that's in the wrong section. I will adjust that. But you can see it was a little tiny one up top. But we were able to get in there, high five, hug, love some of the
love. It was the biggest thing. It was love, man. It was the best way to say goodbye to Tampa that week for Lou and I. Oh my gosh. We came in there, we had a blast. I had great conversations. I sat down and actually got to know Erica even more. And Erica is awesome, and just being able to talk to everybody. Megan is an awesome person too. You have your team. I can keep going on about your team. Oh yeah. She killed it on the stage that week. She came up on the stage and she was one of the speakers over on your booth. And man, she dominated it. It was so much fun to sit down. I learned a lot that week about what you guys do, about the individual businesses inside your business too. I love how you guys collab and you guys come together using different technologies to make that your product is the best in the market. Beautiful. And it's going to continue to be that. I think, what you're doing is great. Why? Was that it?
That was it. Hi. Hello.
So folks, as you can see, look at that's the middle row right there. And That's such a good picture, Lou. I love that picture. I need a copy of that picture. But no, we had such a good time. We came in there, we saw, we conquered, and we loved. And they loved back. And I honestly cannot wait to walk into that room again and say hi to everybody and give them another high five, go around and get another pep rally going, because they deserve it. They work hard. The thing about BDCs is that a lot of us salespeople, we don't give them enough love. We look at BDCs, we're like, no, they work hard. If you've ever worked the phones as a salesperson, you know how hard of a job that is. How many times you get told no and hung up on and cussed at and told, I don't need a phone call. Why are you calling me? It happens a lot. So it's hard to dial the next person sometimes. In order to do that, you just have to have some kind of discipline. You got to have some kind of love. And that culture that they have at the dealership Toolkit is beautiful culture. And I'm looking forward to, like I said, watching that thing grow. But let's get to Forgive, Focus, Fly. We could talk about this all day long, but we need to get this show going. So, but yeah, Forgive, Focus, Fly. This is our thing. And I think everybody knows. You see it on my shirt. It's a big deal. You know, forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, like it says on his. And in order to forgive, you have to let it all go. And that's the biggest thing. It's a new month. It's a new start. Everything's happened. People may have been hating on you, all kinds of stuff. You have to let that go. What they do, you have no control over. What happens around you, you have no control over. Your mistakes that you did in the past, they're done. You can't fix them. All you can do is grow from them and learn from them and move forward. And that is letting it go. Forgive so you can focus on your future, so you can fly to where you want to go. And we're going to fly really far. I know it. And I'm excited about that. I know Liz has been flying for a long time, and she's going to keep flying. This girl is all up in space right now. She's like Elon Musk. Matter of fact, she's like Russell Branson up there hitting space and flying back, right? So let's get this thing going. You ready to forgive, focus, fly?
Let's rock.
Yes, sir.
Liz, let's do it. Car guys and car gals, on 3, go ahead and wipe off the weight of unforgiveness with us and focus on where it is that you're going so that we can fly to great heights to keep growing together. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Forgive, focus, and fly, and keep growing.
Keep growing. Yeah. There we go. All right.
All right,
now,
folks. We got it. Secret handshake is in. It is time for this 5-liner. So first question, Liz. Woo!
Yes.
This first question is your why, your purpose, your drive. What makes you get up every single day, Liz, to be the best version of yourself and to grow every single day?
I think that's a really interesting question. And I love that you guys ask it, because it takes a lot of honesty, right? To say, hey, what's your why? Like, what's your purpose? How are you going to leave this world a better place and just do good? And I think that as you mature in your career, and now I'm responsible for other people's career, right? And I'm responsible for being a mentor to people who are going to be great and already have greatness in them. They just need a little, they need a little industry knowledge just to balance that out. And I think my why today is much different than it would have been 10 years or 5 years ago or 20 years ago, right? But my why is just to leave this world a better place. And that means for my employees, for my business, for my clients, and just do good, and for my grandchildren, for all of that, right? And I think that is what drives me. And I think you had Evelyn, you've had some kick-ass women on your show lately, you know, Evelyn and April, and you know, a lot of you know,
they're all amazing. You're right.
Robin and all of those people. And I think the common thing amongst women in automotive is they don't want to let anybody down, right? That's kind of like the female intuition in you. That's the mom in you. That's why women are very successful and balance out automotive, I think. And so I think my why is really to do good, to help people, to leave the world a better place, leave the people that I touch absolutely in a better place, and to just do the right thing for the right people in my life. And I think what drives that is failing, you know, and not just stumbling, because everybody's going to stumble, but actually like, whew, I can't undo that. Right. So I think that's the fear behind that. But, you know, that's my why. And I think if you ask me in 5 years, it will be the same, versus if you would have asked me 5 years ago, it probably would have been different.
Right. You know, and it's true. You find different drives, and that's why you're growing exponentially. You know, so you have to constantly change that. Whys, there's so many different whys. You know, there's a major why. You know, I always say, oh, there's that one why that you always look up to. That's your driving force, right? But then there's those little ones that drive you every single day. You know, it's like, you know, like for example, like sometimes I just want a new pair of shoes. Right. So if I want them, I'm going to drive a little. I'm going to work a little bit harder. It gives me a little bit more purpose. You know, like no reason for my wife to say, why do you need a new pair of shoes? She thinks I'm crazy with my shoes, but I'm like, because I worked really hard this week. But I'm just saying, like, that was my babe. I wrote it down. It was my why. That's why I kicked butt this week. I mean, I'm just saying. But that being said, you know, things can change. You know, find your motivation force. Your motivation is amazing, and that's why it's big. It goes over everything. So that's why it works for you, and that's why it will work for you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You know, it's a beautiful thing to be that type of way and to have that type of drive and to have a why. A lot of us don't even know what our why is. Some people are walking around this planet right now, at our age group, it's saying things like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know why. Man, I just want to one day be able to retire. You know, whatever it is. And that's okay why, but that's not a deep enough why, in my opinion. Yeah, one day I want to be retired, but how and why do you want to retire? You know, it gets deeper. It gets so deep. So, but anyway, no, I love it. I love your answer. You're so right on the money. We do change, we evolve, but as we evolve, our why may evolve. And if it does, it's okay. It doesn't have to always be the same. You know, we may change. It's probably for the best. So I'm glad that you have evolved over the last 5 years and you're going to keep evolving. I know it.
And we go glory to glory. So your why adjusts as you accomplish some of the goals that you have too, right? As you get to this one level, now, okay, well, I've done that. You accept the rest, you accept the victory, get the trophy, have the joy, have the memories, take the picture, wake up the next day. All right, well, that's now behind me. That great success is right there. Everything I was just pointing towards and why I was doing it almost ended. But at core of you, you are a solutionary. And this is why we've teamed up with people like you. This is why we've found each other, because what you do, literally, literal, man, I got all tongue tied. Literally, what happens with your business, you bring the name Dealership Toolkit. This is the kit to help get the tools in line for you to digitally master your market. And that's why, again, you get our attention. We found each other, right? Being with like-minded people like Evelyn. And finding that there's something that at core we each add to each other. We each get to bring to the table. And you found automotive, and I want to know how you did find the automotive industry. How did the automotive industry suck you inside of it, Liz?
And which we're so lucky that you did.
So
I mean, I gotta say the industry is lucky to have Liz Martin.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. I worked for Clear Channel Communication in the New Hampshire, Vermont market. And that's a weird market, right? Because it has some big, it's a little upper valley kind of nook of a market, but it also has some bigness to it because it's got, you know, Dartmouth College and Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, and it's got some big hypertherm and some big business to it. So it kind of sits in this weird market between Boston and Burlington. Think of that, right? So there was I worked for Clear Channel Radio, and I handled the bigger accounts, and I handled one account that I handled was the Miller Auto Group. At the time they had 13 franchises, so it was big. So every week, and the dealer was that dealer that a muscle type dealer, right? That had the biggest budget in the market. Like they were every morning when your alarm went off, their spot was going off, right? They were the big dogs in the market. They had remotes back in the day when we did remotes and cookouts and crazy things every day. They also did a lot of good in the market. They gave back a lot. They supported David's House, which is a children's kind of like a local Ronald McDonald House that had a really cool story within the market, and the children's house at Children's Hospital at Dartmouth. And so they did a lot of good. So there was a yin and a yang to that, right? So they were, the biggest and the most obnoxious dealer in the market. but they did the most good in the market. So they had a lot of fans. And so I mean, I had it made at Clear Channel Radio. Like I was home every day to pick up my kids from school. And, it was kind of it was a good life, right? You made a lot of money and you had a lot of flexibility, you got free tickets to everything, right? I was always the, hey, I always had the Six Flag tickets, hundreds of them, so
all the concerts, all of that.
All of it. And, but the dealer principal was like, come to work for me. And I'm like, nah, you're crazy. Like, I don't want to work in the car business. Like, that's hard work. Right. And he's like, come to work for me, come to work for me, come to work for me. I'm like, no, that's hard work. And then one day I think I had a weak moment, or I walked into his showroom and he was having a full staff meeting, and it was a hard meeting. But it was impactful because it just motivated people. Right. And it just made them not be satisfied with what they had. And so this man really, really changed my life. And, I got an MBA without going to get an MBA, right? Because when you walk into a car dealership and, all of a sudden you are, you're close to the top. So you know everything that's going in and out, everything about the franchises. And I kind of had to learn every position in the company,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
we had to learn the desk. I had to learn accounting. I had to learn HR. I had to learn F&I. I had to learn service. Right. So when they started doing the realignment and putting, instead of Nissan, Jeep, Volvo, putting all the Chrysler products together and putting Volvo on a standalone and Volkswagen on a standalone and Nissan on a standalone, when we did that, I was able to go run a few stores, and then you're kind of on your own, right? It's all up to you. You don't have anybody. It's not the marketing girl saying, well, you had a bunch of traffic, you didn't close it. Like, it's all you. So,
not pressure at all.
Yeah, no pressure at all. So, I got to do that. And, then I just had the opportunity to kind of get out of the day-to-day of the car business. And I was still his agency of record, and started another agency with a partner. And we did all the easy stuff. We did automotive, legal, and banking, right? So all the easy stuff.
That's real easy.
Yeah.
But you know what? You go for the hardest stuff, you get good at it. Everything else is easy. So that's no doubt about it.
And then Rich so we were in Vermont then. Rich got offered a position in the DC market, and I realigned to the DC market and aligned with my previous agency. So, and that was an automotive marketing agency that was stellar. They were big. They knew what they were doing. They taught me about data. They taught me about standardization, because I don't have a whole lot of that in my life. Like, I'd prefer to rebrand Volkswagen, not stay within the compliance guidelines of Volkswagen. So, but they taught me that. They taught me the value of that. And then, between the knowledge of kind of working day to day in the dealership, and then, being with, agency people that really knew automotive from all sides, OEM, association, tier 3, compliance, and all of that, being able to put that all together, that's really the foundation for Toolkit.
It is, and you have both sides of the fence, as they call it, right? Matter of fact, there's imagine there's like a fence and there's 4 sides to it. You've learned all 4 sides. That being in a dealership is beautiful to have, because people will respect that from you. I'm sure when you call on somebody and you're like, they know that you have experience, you know what it's like to be in their chair. and sit there and be, called on and to know what products are needed in stores and how they can help and what they can do on the sales floor, how they can help you close, how you can get more customers, how you can drive more people through the doors, how you can make it easier by hiring people like Dealership Toolkit, how they can do all the work for you. It's very turnkey, and all you got to do is be ready and have staff there ready to sell some vehicles or solve some transportation problems, right? But you know that because of your experiences. Then you go on the other side because you were in the dealership. Then you go on the other side and you learn all the data and why the data works and how these analytics do this and how that does this and how stuff that even my mind goes, huh? What? Right? But I'm going to learn.
I wish I would have. I say all the time, I wish I would have known what I know now when I worked at the dealership, because we were successful, but we would have been really successful then. I was just dumb. I was just learning. You were
just doing the best that you could with the tools that you had. There was no Dealership Toolkit then. Now that there is, dealers don't need to fret anymore. Just go to www.dealershiptoolkit.com or email Liz at liz@dealershiptoolkit.com and you will get what you need. If anything, they'll give you a free consultation and at least tell you what's going on and help you out. Worst case scenario, you got shake hands, leave as friends. Best case scenario, you buy all the products and your dealership triples business, right? So that being said, there's so many things that can happen, and we are so glad that you found your way into the business, not only just the automotive on the retail side, but getting over onto the vendor side and then on the marketing side and helping dealerships grow. You're not just helping one or a group, you're helping the world. And I'm so excited to be part of that and so excited to have you here. And I'm so excited that you and Rich decided to do those things because, man, it's really nice to be friends with people that are doing these types of things. I can learn. I'm learning so much from you every single day. And I'm looking forward to learning even more from you. And we're going to have to learn a whole lot. Overdrive it, Lou. But I'm excited. We're excited to do that. So that leads me to my third question. You talk about all this stuff. You got in the business. You went from one side of the fence to the other to another side. Then you started your own. Then now you've grown it into a business that is flourishing. And it's just the very beginning of it all. You guys are a couple years in, and it's like, it still hasn't even hit where it's going to hit, but it's hitting, and it's hitting hard, and it keeps coming, and every month it gets better and stronger, and life is good, and it's because you guys are doing the right thing. The toolkit is exactly what it is. It's a kit for every dealership to get the tools that they need, and I love that. But as you were coming up, you ran into people. I know Rich is a big influence in your life. I know there's been a bunch of other ones. You've named a couple that when you were talking a moment ago. But if you were to name one person that really helped you pivot in life, somebody that really mentored you and showed you how to become the best version of Liz, who would that be?
So hard.
It is.
That's a really hard question. I think it is. I think it's my children. So it would
love that answer.
And so, it's, I was never good at marriage. You can ask Rich. I'm still not good at it. But I was divorced when my kids were 2, 4, and 6, right? And I moved from Maine to New Hampshire and kind of changed their lives, right? But all I really wanted was, and even though working in automotive is hard and working, in marketing is hard, because none of those are 9-to-5 jobs, right? You have a hard time to balance. But at the end of the day, my, the reason why I do the things I do, or my reason is, I just wanted them to be good humans. I just wanted them to be good brothers always. And they are, they're great humans. They're great brothers. And I really feel really thankful for that, but I think it would have been much different, right? If I didn't have them to hold me accountable, right? Because they balance that. It's like, oh, don't do something stupid. Like, you don't ever want, that to be, and you guys have kids, so that. But I think from a life standpoint, it would be my children. From a career standpoint, it would be the dealer principal that that saw something in me that nobody ever says, hey, when I was growing up, I either wanted to be the girl that named nail polish, right? That would be really cool. Or
that would be a pretty cool job, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. Or the girl that chose the music and the walkout songs in Fenway Park. Those are the only two things. Like, that's what I wanted to do, right?
That's so cool. I love how you said
Yeah.
Fenway Park. I love that you and Rich love baseball too, because I see you guys travel to parks. You guys have a good time.
Yeah, I'm a Red Sox fan. He's a Phillies fan. I'm a Patriots fan. He's an Eagles fan. Like, we don't get along on that,
But that's fun though. That's part of the fun of it all,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it is. But nobody says when they're growing up, I want to work in a car dealership. Nobody says that. Like, your kids might think of it because you're really successful, you know, and they're growing up in it and they see the benefits of it, and they're kind of lucky because they're going into a different automotive industry than we would have gone into, right? So we went into, you know, a not so nice space. Yep. Now, anybody who goes in now is going into a nicer space.
100%. Even in the stores that are not as nice, they're still much nicer than they were.
Oh yeah.
It was not politically correct when we first got in. Let's put it that way. It was straight. Sure. Yeah, you know the deal. You've been in this. And being a woman in a business, you've seen all the stuff that women should not see and hear, right? And though you should, you know, but it's one of those things that this business, it was, and it still sort of is, but it's not. It's changing, it's evolving, which is thankful for, right? And
pieces are dying off.
And like you said, April Simmons was on a show, and she said that, like, you know, our memories are the filters to our perception. And like you said about our kids' perception of the car business is not the same as our perception or your perception or most of our perceptions that we grew up in our generation, because we looked at car guys as the sleazy guys that were trying to do everything wrong, steal every dollar you had, sleep with your wife, do all those things, right? But today it's different, and our kids have seen a different. They see a fun side of the car business. So their eyes are filtered to a whole different thing. They like, this business is amazing. My dad is crushing it. He's having fun. He's got a podcast. You know, we really bring a difference, but we bring difference as human beings. We're all individuals. But what I've learned, and just like you, Liz, you're an amazing person. Whether you were in the automotive industry, whether you're in the medical industry, whatever it was, you would have flourished and you would have done a great job because you have passion for what you do. You always want to be the best version of you. Have a why. You have a purpose. You have children. You have so many things that drive you, right? And that's what it is for Lou and I. We bring a different thing even as parents. Like, I know that one of the fun running jokes back in the day, and I've talked about this on the show before, it's been a while, but a long time ago, Lou was at his house doing something. I can't remember what the situation is, but he was being goofy, much like we always are, right? And his goofy. So Lou, being fun, having fun with his kids, goofy. That's what we do, right? So kids are laughing, and the kid, and you know, there's whatever it was, he's having fun with it, and his kids, and he looks at his kids, he goes, they're laughing at him. I'm like, Dad, stop. He goes,
what other dad you know is going to do that?
What other dad you know is going to do that? And they go, Fred. And so that's what was so funny, is that if that's what we are. We love to have fun in life. As a parent, I love to have fun. As a husband, I love to have fun. As a friend, I love to have fun. So we bring that fun in everything we do. You got to always have your personality. Be true to yourself. And you do that all the time. And we do that all the time. And that's why we connect really well, because I could tell you're truthful with me. You're honest with me. You are who you are. I know exactly what to expect when I talk with Liz Martin. And I love that. And it makes me feel comfortable. Like, if I was a dealer and I was needing a vendor, you're the only vendor I would deal with because of that. I love how you are, how you portray yourself, and what you do and your mission. So,
I mean, connecting all that together, from what it is that you said, first question down, and even into here, I want those of you that are listening. So you're going to hear this in the future from right now when I'm saying it. You're going to hear this while you're driving, while you're on your workout, doing your thing. The connection that I believe collectively do agree on is that we've been so mentored by our children without them being the ones that's spitting the knowledge. The requirement of us to have something good to give them, and the pursuit for that so that we have it to give them, has grown us up, has made us better people. Right. I mean, the mother that's out, whether it's in the wild, right? The female that goes to hunt to go get that meal, puts herself in danger, exerts all the effort, and everybody comes back and gets to benefit from it. That is the mentorship part. If you don't have somebody that you're sowing into, then you're not giving yourself a justice of making sure that you you take as important the need to go get yourself filled and go get yourself taught and go get yourself mentored. You honored it properly. You said the people that showed you the business and helped you get it. And then, of course, those that are receiving from you in every other aspect of their life. That's proper honor. But if you don't have the accountability of somebody that's waiting for you to pour into you, or waiting for you to pour into them, sometimes you neglect yourself, filling yourself up with what it takes that someone else might actually need. And I 100% high five, amen that, Liz, because the pursuit of being a father when you didn't have the best examples, or to be a leader when you didn't have the best examples, you have to dig deep to find those so that your kids don't have those same excuses, right? I don't want you to have the same pain that I have. I want you to make new mistakes. I want you to see new challenges, but I don't want you to have to deal with what I dealt with. So when we give our lives to that cause, you see great things happen, you see great fruit of it, and then you actually see yourself grow up. So that's a very, very incredible answer there. But I also want to point something else out, car guys and car gals, on the business side of it. She saw it from different angles. She was outside of the business looking in the business looking out, and now is running a business that gets the correlation all the way in between. And this is why we share such a great time together, because we want to echo that voice that there's a practicality to the business, but there's got to be a passion. And when those two collide and those begin to create something, my goodness, you got a kaboom that's happening.
You got the best sandwich you've ever had in your life. It's going to be the best flavor, right? And it's exactly what it is, you know. And this is exactly what we're talking about. These interviews we bring out and we ask these questions, and the reason why these questions are designed the way they are is because it really pulls that out and it shows you guys a roadmap on how to be successful. You know, here's the deal. There's no such thing as overnight successes. You know, though Dealership Toolkit did pop out overnight, boom, boom, boom. But look at the body of work that Liz has brought up all the way up to that point. She's earned Dealership Toolkit. She didn't just get it and then, oh, here it is. She earned that. She's earned that, and she's growing that. And then she knows from her experiences, through her failures, through her accomplishments, through all those things, she knows how to make the perfect recipe. It's like learning how to make the right pasta, right? When you don't know how to put the flavors, but you're trying to figure it out. Eventually, one day, you know it's this much this much that. And she's done that. Bing. Don't get me wrong. She's always working on making it a little bit better, but she knows how to make it good where it tastes like mama's pasta, right? So she's killing the game. We love that.
And actually did something really cool that I want to point out, because of what her heart was as a child, was to be the color coordinator or the color selector, the namer of the polish, right? And we showed up to Digital Dealer, folks. We had in beautiful glistening paint on the steps all of our logos saying that we're better together, and it was this awesome color coordination. And she came walking up, had the little bit of strut with the bing bing. Check out the nails.
Nails were on point,
matching.
But my guess is that Liz's nails are always on point.
Yeah.
Yep. Told you. Because that's what she does. She loves that. But you know, there's something about looking good, feeling good, and having your own flavor. She does have her own flavor to her, and we love that. It's a good flavor. It's a good mix inside our brew of coffee that we have. That's a little bit the perfect amount of cream in there, makes it taste perfect to where you don't have to worry about it kind of being too bitter. She makes everything a little bit nicer, right? And that's what makes her a perfect match with Car Guy Coffee. She makes our whatever. If you think it tastes bitter, you throw a little bit of Liz Martin in there, and boom,
bing
it's perfect.
Bong, hello, get some. I love it.
That's sweet. It is. I've already chugged down my whole cup of coffee, so I'm moving on to my gallon of water, folks.
There you go.
So we're gonna get this thing going. But no, the fourth question is a great question, Lou. So I can't wait for you to ask this one, because I think that this fourth question is
I feel like we kept talking with you wanting to say something. Was there something you wanted to drop on that, Liz?
No. I think that there's a passion that the business lost for a little bit, and now it's coming back. And I think that the kindness that the automotive industry, I think the attempt that is behind the people in the automotive industry for the change is really impactful for people like Dealership Toolkit, right? We had dealers that really took a chance on us, automotive dealers, RV dealers, a marine OEM, right? Power sports dealers, Harley, like they had to take a chance on us. We were new, right? Yep. And there was some unknown, are they really going to be able to do it? And I think that comes from, I think that's indicative of the change in automotive, because I think that there's a tolerance for that now. It just doesn't have to be the same. It can be a little bit different. And they're finding that things that are different, like a podcast, like heavy social, like conversations like this are beneficial for everybody, including the veterans of the industry. Even the veterans of the industry are better today.
Yes.
So I think that is all part of things like the podcast or things like listening to positive people every day instead of watching the news that is never positive.
That's it. I don't watch any news because I get told last night,
somebody's got to come tell me, hey, have you heard about that?
I get a phone call last night about coronavirus and all this stuff. And I'm like, listen, I get it, man, but I keep myself masked. I keep, whatever I need to do, I'm going to be all right. But that being said, I keep myself out of negative stuff too, because the negativity it's nothing that I can do about that. I can't change what's going on there. The only thing I can focus on is what's going on here. And I like to stay positive. If you guys watched me throughout coronavirus, throughout the whole year last year, I was a pretty positive dude. And that's the only way I can stay sane during that time. It was such a unique time. But I tell you, truth be told, we all can reflect back. How much extra time did you have? A lot. And how much time did you have with your families that you didn't have before? I could tell you 20 years in the business, it was the most time I've ever had with my family. And I enjoyed that. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed spending that extra time with my family, but it was short lived. It's over with. I'm moving on. I'm ready to go. But I also really have great memories from last year. Some of the best memories I've ever had in my life. Just those times. I remember just going to the lake with my son and my wife. We rented a boat and we just went out and we hung out. That's something we've done before, but that was such a unique time in the world that memory will always be here in my mind. And I'll always remember that weekend of just us having a good time, staying in a cabin, just going out and just, it was amazing. And I've been on some great vacations, but that one will always stick out because of what happened. We couldn't leave the state. We couldn't do anything.
Everybody's on a staycation.
It was a state vacation, right? I was in the same state that I live in and I went on a vacation, but it was a great time. It was everything that, I would want, but that's what we do. We learn from these things, we grow from these things, and we become better from these things.
And that's why we team up with people like you. And it's given us the opportunity to do it. A lot of conversations with car guys and car gals were harder to have when business was booming and jumping. We all of a sudden had the chance to interview people midday, when that never would happen in the car business. To have Rudy El Patron jump on there and interview with us at 2:00 on a Thursday or Tuesday, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
What?
The middle of a business day, and there was time to have an interview for 2 hours, Right, yeah.
So, so many opportunities came from that.
Man, I took advantage of all those.
Is the same thing that Lowe's and Home Depot and all those companies started to figure out when people were sitting inside of their house, looking around and looking at each other like, man, we have some room for improvement. Right? we have some we got to improve upon. What a lot of people left that time in is saying, I want more of this. I want more of this time with my family. I want more of this conversation that we're having. Now we got to go jump back into the workforce. But even in the workforce, you can get yourself a toolkit, sweep those corners for the room for improvement, and watch your business blow up as you come back post-COVID. Just like that.
I love that video. I love that clip.
We do too, and there's going to be plenty more to come.
Whole lot more coming.
Especially when we get this extra free time. But that being said, we're real excited.
No, we didn't ask the fourth question.
I was like, we kind of beat around the bush around it, but let's get to it.
But we have plenty of stuff that we can say about Liz.
Oh, I can go all day.
But the things that I want to make sure that this show does get for you, it's something that is tangible that you can put inside of your cup, the inspiration that's needed for you to energize your day. And Liz, some days don't work out as well. Sometimes tragedy happens. Sometimes bloopers occur inside of the business. Sometimes we make decisions that just that wasn't right. Right. And this is the automotive industry. We are some of the best at accepting and getting rejected and overcoming it, right? That's what builds our tough skin. And now this new flow of leading with love is key. The thing is about us is we understand that old school flow. We have seen the things that we wanted to adjust in it. And maybe in that time when we first discovered the need to adjust to it, we couldn't. We didn't have the power or authority to do so.
Right.
Now we have grown in authority, in wisdom, and an experience in order to give and lead in those directions collectively, right? I'm talking industry wise, that we can lead with love. We can start these cultures where people are empathetic for everybody around them and the customer. We don't just want a bottom line. We want to feel good about what we do as we do it well. But you've learned a lot of things. What has been the hardest lesson you've learned getting to where it is that you are today in crossing in this automotive industry?
Well, Toolkit's 2 years old, right? So seems a lot longer than 2 years, but it's technically been operational for 2 years. And the biggest thing that Toolkit has taught me is to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
And that is on all fronts, right? So be patient with clients, be patient with employees, be patient with technology, be patient with the sales cycle, be patient with the way people feel, right? So that's when we bring in an employee on the marketing side, we have at least 6 months of training. And that's training on how we do business, our technology, our clients, how we want to be represented, how if you think a certain way, everything kind of, all the dots kind of connect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at least 6 months before a new marketing employee says, oh, I got it. I can do this project without, needing a whole lot of help or having to talk to anybody about it. And so that's long, right? So you have to be patient with employees. On the BDC side, it's a little bit quicker because we have some technology that helps them. But, it's 3 or 4 months before they really feel good about the objections and dealing with all, one BDA could be making inbound service appointments for 100 dealerships, right? It just depends on the call cycle, right? So there's a lot of things. We work in a lot of CRMs. We work in a lot of service schedulers. We have a lot of our own technology, right? So I'm by nature not patient, right? I'm by nature I've said it once, why don't you get it? Kind of a get things done kind of person. And because the list is so long and you have to get through the list but Toolkit has taught me to slow down. And I think COVID taught us all to slow down.
Yes, it did.
And it's okay if it's different than what you thought. So I think the element of patience was really important. And it took a few months, to learn it. I'm working with my family. One of our partners is a RV dealer principal. So they think different. So you have to be, a dealership is way different than a marketing company, right? So you can't run them the same. They don't sound the same. The financials don't look the same. So there was a lot of patience that was needed. And I don't think that I thought this, but it had to be somewhere in the back of my mind that there was going to be an element of, hey, our network is so good, it's going to be easy. And it got easier as we got more patient.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Patience is a virtue. And I love that you said that. I actually did a quick brew recently of that, and I kind of almost did like 2 in a row because patience was something on my mind. And I love that you're talking about that. I think that the older we get, the more we realize how patient we need to become, because we do realize things happen. Sometimes you plant a seed and you want it to grow by tomorrow, and you're like, I'm the same way. I'm very impatient. I want things now. I want But at the same time, I do see that things that are worth waiting for, or things that are good, are worth waiting for. And a lot of times, like with your business, you see sometimes you have to plant those seeds, and it may take that 2-year mark before you even notice how big, but it starts to really blossom. And then that harvest of fruit is just massive. You've done such good work, but you've always kept optimism, you kept the faith, and you put work behind all that. And when you do all those things, it's amazing. And we're still being patient. I know you're being patient. I'm being we're all patient people, and we have to be. We're learning that. And that is a great virtue to have. That's a great characteristic to have. And that's something that I'm glad that you've found in yourself, because that patience is what's going to help you grow. Because like I said, we all want it now. Don't get me wrong. If something can happen overnight, I want it to happen overnight. But if it's something that's going to take a year, it's going to take months, like you said, 60 to 90 days for me to catch, I'm going to be okay with that. I know with this like 75 hard, I'm going to tell you, I have to be very patient. I'm only 15 days in and I'm like 60 days left. Holy guacamole. I'm only 20% done, but I'm still 20% done. That's a good thing. But no, I'm real excited about what's going on. I'm glad that you found that. I'm glad that you said that answer. I think that's something that people need to hear. Be patient, folks, because good things are coming. There's going to be some hurdles, and there's going to be some times where you're going to hit a roadblock. It's okay. Learn from that and go around it and be patient, because it will come if you keep putting work. If you're a religious person, God does that to test you, to make sure that you're a strong-willed person. You have to be that person. It helps you become better. It puts character inside you. So character is the key. If you were always given everything and everything was simple and you didn't have to wait for anything, then how fun would life be? It'd be so boring you wouldn't even realize how great little things are. That's called having gratitude. You got to find gratitude somewhere. Right. And you find that, and through patience, you will find gratitude, and you will grow, and you will find that it happens quicker than you thought. 2 years ago, like you said, it feels like a lot longer, but man, it flew by too at the same time. It's one of those things. So
and everything has
great
its
answer.
timing. Everything has its timing.
It does.
And sometimes we get ourselves impatient about things that are particular inside of their timing, right? I know I was when I wanted my driver's license. I know every teenager is that way, right? I want to drive, but there's a particular time that it's legally allowed, and you're actually prepared. Just because you're legally allowed doesn't mean I'm trusting you on the road yet. You haven't had the proper training, right? No different than things that have to happen inside of a business. Some things have to percolate for a certain amount of time. If you want listen, we're in the Keurig age, we're in the microwave. You can get a quick fix, easy, right? But the quality isn't always the same as when you wait for that pour over. You wait for that mocha pot to get boiling. You wait for a little bit of a better quality to get your coffee even right. Sometimes that patience is key. I'll wait over here while other people get their quicker coffee from the big batch to have my own poured over, right? Just because of the quality and the experience. You're going to pay the same amount, but the better one is actually worth waiting on. And that's something that we want to make sure that we correlate to everything that we do. For salespeople, for managers out there, for managers that believe great things inside of salespeople, keep sowing those seeds. Yep. Eventually, they're going to dart up and become the leaders of the floor. Eventually, they're going to be actually saying the things you tell them to say, right? Actually making those connections with people. But keep sowing the seed, stay consistent with it. And remember, seed, time, and harvest. There is a key piece in the middle of all
time.
Of them. Sow your seeds, and you let time do its thing. And then you have to be prepared for the harvest, because suddenlies take a long time. I want y'all to write that down. Suddenlies take a long time. Things are growing, they're growing, and then suddenly they bear fruit. Suddenly they're ready for harvest. Bing! Suddenly that thing that's sitting in the oven that's taken 2 hours to cook, well, that is suddenly goes from not being ready to being ready. Suddenly you're dealing with the customer that you've sowed all those seeds with. You've been texting them, you've been emailing them, you've been calling them, and suddenly they're here. Now the objection comes, right? And so it's important that we pay attention to the suddenlies, but understand they didn't happen suddenly. They took time and patience, and I appreciate you depositing that. Put that in your cup, car guys and car gals,
and sip on it. There's no doubt about it, and that leads us straight into this last and final question. And Liz, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Thanks for telling people your why, about your family, and talking about what got you in this business and all the different stages of the business you've been through, so people can understand how far you've come and how much knowledge that you've gained, but still learning. And I love that you're talking about that also. 3, I love that you talked about, what drove you and who's drove you in this business. And then we talked about patience. And this all takes patience. Life is patient. We have a long time on this planet, but we don't. So it's kind of like two sides of that coin. Though it seems like a long time, our time on this planet is short. So make sure you go out and you do the best you can, but understand it does take patience in some cases, and it's okay. We do have some time. So use that time wisely, grow, fertilize those things that you're trying to do, water those things you're trying to do, and grow. Suddenly takes a long time. Or Brian Ortega wrote that down. And I love that, Lou. That was a great comment, by the way. Let me give you some pound for that. But that being said, Fifth question.
Mhm.
It's about your greatest reward. What has been the greatest reward up to this point for all the work that you've put in your life up to this moment?
That's a really selfish question. So the greatest reward is the pride and
There you go.
the personal pride, right? Because Rich and I took a big risk
Yes, you did.
to start Toolkit, but then the people, a month later, a year later, 2 years later, are still very proud and very complimentary, and they're like, this was needed. This is the best thing in the market. Like we know what this is going to be in 5 years, and just kind of that pride that's not all mine, right? It's not all Rich's. It's not all Megan's. It's not all the people that partnered with us. It's not that. It's from the outside too, and the belief that people have in what they see for
Yep.
Toolkit. People like Richard Bastillo, right?
Yes.
Or people like Greg at A&L. Like they can't say enough good, and they see the future and they see the impact, and so that feeling, like I don't want that ever to go away.
If you keep doing what you're doing, it never will, because you're always evolving. You're like a solutionary. We talk about with certified solutionaries, our fourth core value, it's adaptability. And in being able to be adaptable like you all are with your business, you're adaptable to all dealerships. You walk in, you have a product, but your product is adaptable for their store. And that's what makes you guys special. And you're going to constantly do that. You will always evolve your product. You will partner with people to make your product better. That is what's special. I put a post out the other day because I had that, we did that interview with Lyman, and Lyman talked about, there needs to be a digital transformation. And what's so beautiful is that's exactly right up your alley. And you understand what that language means. This whole business needs that. But teaming up is something that you've been doing and you're not scared to do. You had Robin Wilson come down and visit you. You guys talked about your processes. I'm sure talked about ways to improve each other's call centers and try to find the best of each and then make it even better. That is what I'm talking about. That's masterminding at the highest level with people in the industry that is your direct competitor, but yet you're like, you know what? Let's make it better, because there's plenty of room for all of us. Don't get me wrong, I want it all, but there's still plenty of room for other people, and there's good people. And which, if there is good other people out there, you at least want to know that they're doing it the right way. So this way, if you ever know that your clients use it, you don't fit, you understand that's a good spot. You might even be able to refer them to that because it may be too much business for you or whatever. There's no such thing, but you know what I mean. But like things like that.
That there's a reputation that, and I love Robin. I kind of love where she comes from, and I love her spirit, and
Absolutely.
I love her logo, right? But there's a reputation, just like car people, for outsourced BDCs.
Sure.
Right. And so you can't have other outsourced BDCs out there doing the wrong thing, right? You can't have them out there putting head trash in a dealer's head that says, oh no, I can't have an outsourced BDC, because then that hurts the whole industry. So you have to, things like hanging out with Robin and Shasta for a couple of days and just talking about the business and how we can do better and how we can represent outsourced BDC just by, don't tell me, show me with performance. Like if we do that, the whole perception of outsourced BDCs is different, right? Because if it looks like it's right, if it looks like it's sitting right in your dealership, if they're trained on your dealership, if you have a team that knows how to handle your customers the way you want them to, and they're not all in the same box because dealers are different. If we teach people that is the new outsourced BDC, it's smart and it's got a lot of technology and it's got really motivated, trained people in it, then we improve the perception of the industry. And I think that That was really the driver of, hey, you know, let's get people like Wendy Reeves and Robin Wilson, all the people that are in the you know, in the communication service for the automotive business, right? Let's get them all together because they're all great and they're all trained.
Yep. Why not?
Yes.
The more
announced that today on Clubhouse.
It's beautiful. And she's so right. You know, Lou and I, our mission, Glenn Lundy's mission, so many other missions out there is to change the stigma, the way people think about the car business. You are doing it too. This is why you're a solutionary. And this is why we want to team up with you. This is why we love you, Liz. That answer there alone is all I need to hear to make me go, I love Liz.
Yep.
Because that's what we're on. We're on that same mission. So whatever we can do to help amplify that. Folks, I don't even look at outsourced call centers the way that most of the world probably does. I actually think they're amazing because of people like Liz. I know Robin, I know Wendy, amazing people. And they all doing it with their passion. They do it with love. They actually get excited about learning new techniques, how to get better at their jobs, how to train. You see them on Clubhouse all the time. You see them doing these things. They're always exchanging ideas. They're always doing things. And what's so beautiful about it all, they are all women in automotive. These women are killing the game. These women are changing it. These women are making it better. These women are making, not only are they making it better, but they're making us look like we don't know what we're doing. And I love that. I could learn so much from you women. I could be taught so much. As a matter of fact, my whole life, I have been taught by women. I have been raised by women. I have been everything. I am the man I am today because of women. So women in automotive is something we need. Women in automotive is something that the world needs. Women in every aspect of the world, not just in automotive. Women in medical, women in, you know, it doesn't matter. We need women there, because if we have women inside those workplaces helping and leading and teaching and empathy, and you can keep naming the traits that women have that men don't, most men don't. I have lots of those, but some of those men, they don't have it, right? And don't get me wrong, a lot of these things were taught to me. They were open. My eyes were opened by, once again, women, my wife, my mother, Lou's wife. You know, there's so many people and women that have influenced me in my life that are great women. Liz Martins of this world influencing me about call centers. Seriously, like it's a beautiful thing. And I'm so excited to be partner up with you. I'm so excited that we have women in industry doing what you're doing, changing the way people look at things. Because in the end of the day, 5 years from now, it's going to be so much better. Clients, you know, we talk about clients in automotive industry. We want people who come into dealerships to feel like they love car people, that they don't want to have that stigma of like, these guys are cheats, right? Same thing with call centers, outsourced call centers. They're trying to change that up. So dealers, their clients are not like, oh man, it's just a waste of my time. They're not. If you have a good call center like Dealership Toolkit has, it's so beneficial for you. It is beyond beneficial because as you can see that call center, look at the energy in that call center. I'm getting high fives. Lou's getting a high five. They're in there making phone calls. They're not playing around. That was just one row. There's another row on this side. They have another room on the back side, and they're going to expand because they're growing so much, and their call center is beautiful. And they're helping so many dealers that it's time for them to expand a little bit. And we're super excited to watch that growth. We're super excited to be part of that growth. And Liz, we're super excited that you came on our show this morning, and we love you. Thank you so much for giving us an hour and 20 minutes of your time. And we love you so much. We hope that we had a chance to honor you enough. I want to keep honoring you. I know that we both have busy days. We got to go off and do some things, but I'm looking forward to meeting with you again tonight. But hey, we love you. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Is there any final words you want to throw out there before we head out today?
Yep. I love you back. I appreciate you guys a lot. And thank you for having me today.
Whew. Oh, car guys, car gals, and all you solutionaries out there. I hope that you've enjoyed this show. I want to keep this show going, but we do have a mission to complete today, and you have a mission to complete today.
Amen.
But I want to show you a picture real quick, because this is not just our boy, but this is her boy, right? And it shows the joy and the honor, and ultimately what it is that here on this show, in our efforts, we're trying to create. Because guys, gals, we didn't just show up here and all of a sudden women now have a voice. We just have a microphone too, and we want to give it to them also.
Yeah, we're just passing the mic,
lighting it up a long time before we showed up with the show. Car guys and car gals are finding a way to unify, but just tagging back real quick to the Suddenlies. Sometimes you don't have any women that are in the floor or in the position inside of the dealership, and suddenly a woman shows up and everything changes and things start to get adjusted, and we begin to adjust. Guys have to make the adjustment accordingly. What I love about our country is that we are in a consistent evolution where more and more people are gaining their voice. The power of social media has put a a microphone in everybody's hand, put a camera on everybody. Now we have the opportunity to amplify our voices and our messages, but it's getting more and more unified. But in this picture is our brother. I'm getting. I want to get the froth inside of some coffee today because it needs time for the next cup. But my brother, Richard, it's Rich and Rich. It's like the Rich and Rich show that day. But we had the chance to sandwich them right there in between us and have a conversation with them. And you felt the honor amongst them. You felt the joy amongst them that they equally wanted each other to achieve their greatest. And they were committed to it. They were vested in it. Take a look at these gentlemen right here, having a great time, having a ball, that picture, man. Having fun.
That's awesome.
And that's ultimately what the platform is for.
I'm gonna tell you, them two were like schoolboys, man. Yes, they were having so much fun during that interview, poking at each other, laughing. You can see the smiles on them too. I think they have a man crush on each other, but I love that. It's okay.
It's okay.
You got two superstars in the automotive industry doing some amazing things that are good friends, that are brothers, that absolutely love each other. My favorite part of that whole thing was when they talked about when they saw each other for the first time after a while and they come running towards each other. And they said it was
they have a legit romance. They love. I think they're always going to talk every day, but if they could hug every day, they would.
Do. That's what
they would, and that's good to have people like that in your life, and it's good to have that. I could see, because I saw the twinkle in Rich's eye when he talked about Richard, right? And in the same way with Richard, when Richard was
just like that. Look at that right there.
I mean, it was just like that. They were, and Bastillo was the exact same way. What a classy guy. He's a real guy. I love that about him. He's up there in the ranks in his business, but at the same time, he's down to earth, and he loves to talk, and he loves to share, and he loves to promote other people that he believes in. And I love that about him. I'm so glad you guys are partnered up with him doing things. And I'm glad that Rich and him found each other again and rekindled that friendship, because it was needed. And it's when you have those types of things in your relationship, I know what it's like to have a good friend that you're working with, right? And I know what it's like to have a brother and somebody you can have a bromance with and still laugh about it, right? And not be embarrassed. But it's a beautiful thing. It's cool that you have a relationship with Rich like that, and you guys can enjoy and make fun of each other and poke fun and grow. And push each other to be better, and you're lucky to have each other. And I'm so glad that you guys found each other, because then Dealership Toolkit wouldn't have happened, and then we wouldn't be here talking about this and doing all these things. So honored to have you. Love you, Liz.
Yes.
Hope you have the best day of your life.
Yes. So pointing this out one more time, car guys and car gals, you see this picture of dealers collaborating together with vendors, and right there with our friend seated next to me, next to him, who you cannot see, is this incredible individual that has taken her time with us today, because next to every great man is an incredibly great woman. And
I wouldn't say next, I'd say in front of every great man is a great woman, right? So we do appreciate you so much.
That's right. We do. We honor you. We love you. We appreciate you. Car guys and car gals, make sure that you tag a car guy, tag a car gal, somebody that you want to encourage and you want to be a little bit better today. Share this show with them.
Let's go.
Our incredible friend Liz has been blessing us today, and we know that the crowd is loving it. People are all over the place loving what it is that you do. So continue to do great things out there.
Yes.
Car guys, car gals, make something happen inside of your dealership, inside of your business, with your relationships, inside of your community. Don't stop, because guess what? You have today, and you can actually do something great with it if you honor it well. Liz, we appreciate you. We are thankful for everything that you've deposited into us today and into everybody else's cup. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Right. Have a great day, everyone.
You do too, Liz. We'll talk to you later. Folks, for all you out there, if you guys need to get a hold of Liz, it's liz@dealershiptoolkit.com, or you can go to her website, www.dealershiptoolkit.com, get some more information, figure out what they're about, or you can reach out to me or Lou. Lou and I know a little bit. We're kind of like inside men with the business. We could probably hook you up really good. So make sure you reach out to us. We're definitely here, but there's one thing that we have to say about Liz Martin.
We have to make sure that
all y'all know this.
She is 100%
CGC approved. That's right.
Some of that.
We love you, girl. You have a great day. Y'all, You guys go out and have the best day ever. I'm Fred Lenart's a subprime hero.
And I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy. And we have been bringing you the Car Guy Coffee podcast with the assistance of our incredible sponsors, Liz Martin from Dealership Toolkit.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us. We also have new sponsors that are jumping into the mix to make sure that your cars get shipped. And our friend Don Brady over at Don Brady Consulting.
Love you, Don.
Thankful that we have incredible people like him. And of course, the master connectors that have brought us even into the world of Liz Martin, the Think Ad Group.
Love
we
them
are so
too.
thankful for those incredible people for making that connection.
And thank you all once again. We're going to keep running this women in automotive industry, but I'm going to tell you, Liz, thank you for being here because you brought the notch up for us a little bit, and we appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people out there, and thank you for changing the way people look at outbound call centers because they are amazing, and your center is the best. So I'm excited to help promote it. Let's promote that bad boy. Let's go.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Go brew some solutions. We are the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, and we are out.
OUT.